Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Football Manager 2022. It's our Journeyman series, and for the sake of time, it's episode number 3. So I made a bit of a boo-boo last time out. I recorded 2 episodes back-to-back, and then I stored one of them away, and then I edited the other one thinking that it was, the first of the pair, and put it out as episode number 2, even though in terms of recording, it was actually episode number 3, so I missed the beginning of the season. So without further ado, I'm going to give you a few clips from that episode so we can backtrack and see a little bit about what transpired at the beginning of the season, in particular the new players that we brought in and kind of that initial setup that we had before we then continue on with our season. Now, as you can see, we're already in September too, and we are ready to begin the season. Before we get into that, it's been 4 months since where we left off at the end of the last episode. A lot of training, a lot of time for the team to gel, and quite a few changes. I think I brought in 12 players and shipped out about 6. Definitely a different look to the squad, but not significantly. Outside of drastically changing our center back pairing and being much better, there wasn't a lot of potential improvement out there and available to us. Especially scouting-wise. I brought lots of players in on trial. Most of them just weren't good enough. That was also the majority of the players we brought in. The best of those came in as added depth, and especially young players with potential that were better than what we had. And then the players we got rid of were the guys in their early 30s that were being paid 3 to 4 times as much as those players that I brought in. It looked good as an option to swap that out a bit and get a little bit younger with the squad. Now, the starters that are in place right now that were not with the squad when we started this, Hengara at goalkeeper. He's a slight upgrade on Iscario, and a big upgrade from the depth below that. Not big, but big enough. Masirin and Paulin, the center back pairing, both replacement starters. We were so weak at center back. Harridan, the backup to them, is also a new face on the team. So I brought in 3 new center backs. I'm excited about Guino. Guino was already on the squad. He was 16 until a couple weeks ago. He just had his birthday, now 17. And he can play either fullback position, also center back, but he's a fullback. Hadayat, another young talent coming from the squad itself that we are looking to get a debut, and he actually might be the regular over new guy that we brought in, Eunice. Eunice fits and he seems to be good, but with our play style, I think that Hadayat's going to get more goals. I think that is likely, but we're going to give Eunice a shot. He didn't have a great preseason. Hadayat was fantastic. Not a lot of injuries through preseason. We look pretty good there. Let's go ahead and start our season. See if we can start it right. All right, and here we are against our bitter rival on the road. And even though our slight changes and our definite improvement at center back, we still only pushed up 1 place in the preseason predictions. So we went from 9th to 8th. I'd say roughly 3 teams that are significantly better than the rest of the league and are clear favorites. And this is one of them. This is the last of them, but it's one of them. And as a bitter rival and on the road, we could have our hands full. So far, though, we are dominating the game, so I'm happy with that. Nice ball over the top. Arella, Eunice, goal! First one of the season. The new faces, especially the defense, was very secure today. And there it is. Full-time whistle, 3 points. Great beginning. Amazingly, I'm already 6 months into this playthrough, even though we just started the season, but they have A, a short season, and B, I got the job just after the conclusion of the previous season, so some time has passed. You can see I now have the tiniest bit of reputation, 5%. I am now a somewhat known quantity in the world. Attributes-wise, though, progress begins ever so slightly. The people management, we were at 4. The adaptability, determination, we're both at 6. Was determination 6 or was it a 5? But player knowledge, youngster knowledge, both going +1. Motivating going +1. Attacking, defending, tactical, technical, mental, all taking +1s. Gotta start somewhere. We've started on the front foot with a win. We are perfect for our career. Now, just keep that perfection rolling. Right. Well, Harlem. Cross. Aharela again, this time into the corner, forcing the keeper to make a tougher save, which means he doesn't hang on to it, so he knocks it down. So Aharela pounces on it, lays it off for Eunice, and it's level at 1. Back to Sinji. That ball given away. Poor cross. We recover quickly, though. Mofu. Sinji. Eunice. Through to Harlem. Harlem. Goal! 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 Yes! Yes! Okay. Excellent finish there. And now we have a great shot at a point. Poor defense there, but Harlem, nice play to convert. And of course, what transpired in the last episode is that we continued to find not only winning ways, or at least the not losing ways that we had at the beginning of the season, but we really turned it into a lot more wins. We had 4 draws in our first 5 or 6 matches of the season. We now have 10 wins and 6 draws on the entirety of the season. We have not lost yet. And the only cup competition that we have, we're already into the 3rd round. Even though we just needed to be competitive, it's not important. But we are up against a side that is in the top tier. I don't know how good they are in the top tier, but it's a top tier team. And in the first leg, we managed to pull off the victory. So we're already on the front foot there and with a pretty decent chance of continuing on in that competition beyond the 3rd round. Now, how far we get, I have no idea, but that's unimportant. It's the league that's important. And back to the league, with those 10 wins and 6 draws, we're not the only team that has yet to lose this season. Dewa United is somebody that we drew with head-to-head. I believe it was a road draw that first time we matched up, and I think that made it into that last episode. It might have been in that first one, but I think it was in that last episode we actually did have that matchup, possibly. But anyway, it was a draw. So we still have one more time to play each other this season. They absolutely could take the top spot from us, which isn't that big of a deal. All we need to do is be top 4. Now, mathematically, we have already staved off relegation, but we have not guaranteed a Phase 2 appearance as of yet. We're 11 points clear of PSMS, and for that team and for where we're at in the math, well, there's 6 matches remaining in Phase 1. Everybody plays each other twice, so it's a 22 match first phase of the season. Then those top 4 from each of the 2 groups continue on from there into that next phase. The math on that means we need to be 18 points clear to guarantee a spot. At 11, we're not that far off, but things could turn pretty quick. Things were much, much tighter 8 matches ago than they are right now. Things have really spread out over the last 8 matches, and you could see how we have pulled a bit of a gap after just reaching that first position. We've opened it up pretty well since then, and I want to say that we've had 1 draw in this stretch. That's it. So it's been 7 wins and 1 draw, and that has helped tremendously. Dewa, though, they were just ahead of us, and we just got ahead on maybe goal differential, so they've done pretty well in that stretch as well. It certainly hasn't been easy. But anyway, we're definitely going to get through those 6 matches in the next little bit, but I want to take a look at a few updates on where we're at on the season at this point. In terms of development, Harlem, we have a number of young talents, especially a handful of 16-year-olds that are poised to join the first team. One of them already getting some regular time. Another one has had some appearances themselves. And then we have Kadek Harlem. Harlem got a couple appearances right at the beginning of the season, actually scored a goal and had a decent average rating, but we had somebody come back from injury, and so Harlem got bumped out of the sub spots. And when I have used the assistant manager and done the vacation thing and missed a few of the games along the way, which fortunately we were still able to grab results on, he was definitely not selected for any of those. And I've had him just outside. He's somebody that I'd love to bring in off the bench, but he hasn't been one of those next best options. And so he improved drastically on those couple of appearances, but then he has stalled out in the months since. I'd like to get him back into the side. David Hedayat, which we have two Hedayats at the striker position, which is really confusing. David Hedayat, for a hot minute, was the one that I thought I wanted to get in there and develop, and then it turns out he wasn't. And then when he has played, well, he's been okay, but he has not been developing through that playing time. Efifano is somebody that hasn't gained time, and therefore he has struggled to progress. And the biggest improvement has come from Justin Stephen, but he's still some ways off first team, so he's been doing that through playing for the U21s. Finances are a total nightmare for the squad. We just had our equivalent of the January transfer window, that almost 1 month. It's about 3 weeks here, where they open it up and allow for transfers. One, I tried to sell a number of players. I put up a few guys for transfer list that ran a bit of a risk of making them upset, and I think we only offloaded a single player during that 3 weeks. They came in for offers for some of my young up-and-coming guys that I don't want to get rid of. They're kind of the face of the squad, and so that didn't help us. And because of our financial situation and as far in debt as we are, even though my committed spending is $250,000 under what we could actually be spending, and my current spending is $200,000, almost exactly under, we should be doing good financially. But as a recently relegated club, that's not the case. The club's losing plenty of money, and they were barely above zero when we started the season. Of course, the ticket sales bumped us up ever so slightly, but you can see just that steady decline since then. Therefore, they shut us down on transfer. We actually still have the money that is out there. They just shut down. We were supposed to get 100% back up until a certain point. They shut it down to 5% transfer revenue back. So selling players wasn't exactly going to help me go after somebody, but attracting bigger players, not happening right now as we're playing in Division 2. Most of the team had expiring contracts, and by most, I mean like 90 to 95% of the team had expiring contracts coming up at the end of this season. For the most part, it seems to want to do one-year deals. So I suppose that's the norm here. And as a result, a lot of the older players that feel that they should be playing in the first division, regardless of the position we're in, kind of want to move on. That's not a terrible thing, because that means you can offload some older players that aren't as good. Getting younger is a good thing going forward. You don't want a lot of aging players who are going to suddenly get slow and just be inferior, and plus be overpaid because they always ask for more money. So it's not all that bad that we are on the verge of losing 4 or 5 guys at the end of the season with nothing in return. Speaking of, I've already picked up one player for next season, a center back who is a significant upgrade, at least equal, if not better, to Masirin. Masirin, though, has picked up a bit of an injury, and the other Hedayat, the correct one, not David Hedayat, but it's Aulia Hedayat, who is the one who is really good with the headers and has been with that speed, with that determination and that off-the-ball movement, gets himself into the right place. And even though he's not actually a great player, he manages to score a lot of goals. So when he has played, he's played well, but he's picked up an injury, and he's going to be out for a while yet, as well as Masirin and the Masirin one. But yeah, that hurts a bit. But other than that, we have stayed fairly healthy. I know during the beta, injuries, I was not the only one who was having issues with injuries in my series. I saw on the forums that it was incredibly common. That seemed to be just about the biggest complaint during the beta period, was that injuries were just completely off the rails for the player-controlled teams compared to the leagues themselves. You were pretty much doubling up quantity of injuries comparatively, even when you're managing training properly and workloads, and not putting players constantly at high risk conditions through steady rotation. Still, twice outpacing everybody else in your league all season long in terms of injuries was hard to overcome. Seems to be a lot better balanced here. We've never been in the bottom half of the table in terms of injuries, but we haven't topped the table either. We're pretty average, and that's a good sign. Mentoring's a bit of an issue for me because we don't have the right personality types. If you go through, you can see we have one fairly professional, but that's Guino. That's my young player who was a 16-year-old playing that fullback. I'm trying to get him time, trying to get him to develop because he is a star for the future, and he's just about good enough to be in there right now. But you see, outside of him, everybody's balanced, which at least they're balanced. They're not bad. We don't have the low determination issues, but a team full of balanced players just means you don't have leaders to rely on. So I only have 3 determined players right now trying to pull up our goalkeeper, Hangara. But they themselves are 22, 26, 25, and in the other players category, so their influence isn't much. 2 more matches gone by with another league win and a draw in that League Cup match. That draw was enough to see us into the 4th round, which we're going to go up against yet another League One side, so that's going to be a bit of a challenge for us. But currently, we are possibly in place to secure a Phase 2 appearance with this game, potentially. So here's what would need to take place. First off, we win this one. There's 2 teams left in range. One of them is the opponent that we are playing right now, this team in green, PSMS. They were 5th place a little bit ago. They've slipped to 6th. If we win, we will mathematically eliminate them, as Eunice has a chance to run. He gets it to Horella, and he gets that in. Gosh, that's what the text went away just before I saw it, but that's only maybe his 2nd goal of the year, something like that, maybe 3. We had a chance on the left there as well, but we kind of got off. Well, terrible goalkeeping. Rohim should have had that. The Rohirrim should have had that. Anyway. First shot of the game. That was what, 4th minute? Dang. Really good start. Well, anyway, a win would mathematically eliminate them. The other team with similar initials to them, though, as Azuzu already on a yellow here. Gotta watch out for that. We might have to sub him roughly halftime-ish, or possibly even before that, to avoid being down to 10 men. He's certainly picked up some yellows. No flag, and that's going to count. It's 2 already in just the 16th minute. We might have been fortunate here. I thought he maybe was offside. Whoopi coming up on the overlap, lays it off for Sinji. Sinji, hard to tell. That right back was pretty deep. Might have played Eunice on side, but he was a little off camera. We'll see. Oh yeah, we're on. We are on, and it wasn't the right back either. It was left side. All right, well, just 3 shots, 2 on target, and already 2 goals. Fantastic start. All right, anyway, the other team with similar initials, PSPS or whatever it was, is the other team that mathematically, depending on how they do, we could see that guaranteed. But if they win, they'll stay within range. Oh, Mofu, who just signed a new contract for next year, 31-year-old. Looking to retain him a bit longer, and not overly priced either. Center mids usually have high salary, right? They don't sign for as much, but they tend to have among the highest salaries on a team, and yeah, pretty affordable on him, so that was good. Over half an hour played, approaching that halftime whistle. I think as Reisel, we're going to bring him off, and actually, with injuries... Oh, no. Okay, that's first yellow for Mofu. Real chance, and they get one back here before halftime. Let's go ahead and make that sub. Where? There it is. Harlem. We're going to get Harlem in to play. Yep, that's a good goal. Zamroon, far post, back to switching end to end. It's a good play. Looks like a design play. Harlem in action. Mofu finds Eunice, lays it off. Ohurela Can't turn. Sinji, again, looking for the overlap, but it's not there. We're not pushing for it. Oh, Hirela, chance to make it 2. And he blasts that high. We get to halftime still with a fair bit of momentum so that they're not stealing and setting themselves up for a strong half. Whoopie, nice interception. Sinji over the top. Udis, ooh, that was awfully close. I think Udis needed to make a stronger beeline to the ball itself, and he might have gotten there first. Here he goes! And he blasted over. That's 2 clear chances we've had of late. Mofu is not going to go the distance. With the fatigue, with the yellow card, we're going to definitely look to sub him out. Probably early second half, maybe 10 minutes in. Give him a while longer. Harridan subbing in. That's our one change from the lineup. Oh, off the post! Man, I'd feel much more comfortable with a 2-goal lead at halftime, and we are all over it, but not converting right now. Good clearance there. Rudy. Over the top for Eunice. Great control on this one. This one much more well placed, but the keeper outstretches and gets a hand to it. Puts it out for the corner. Sinji. Another chance. Straight to the keeper that time. And it's halftime. We are all over them, but both teams, I mean, the scoreline very deserved. The possession is theirs. Pass completion is theirs, but the chances are us. And you can see since they scored, we've been all over them. Most of our XG coming since that time. I think we can find another gear. Can we pump this? Nope. In the second half, Mofu not going to stay on much longer. Maidula looks like the other likely candidate to be subbed, but we only have 2 subs left. Maidula, poor on that one. Gives up an easy chance for them. Out for a corner. That's cleared out. Maybe I need to do the Maidula sub sooner and save the Mofu sub for later, as this one is costing us more than that one. Fatigue. Fatigue and a yellow card. That's too dangerous. Don't have my regular contingency. Sadaya one is on a long-term injury, so Fari is going to come on. Normally he's playing in that defensive mid spot for us. And Rudy. Oh, and they draw level. We've been in control of the game almost throughout. We've come so close to scoring multiple goals, and now we're sitting a level on points. By the way, they are the favorites for this game, and Maidula, his rating has dropped to nothing. If we sub him now, we're talking about early. Can we give a touchline shout about demand more? He's not as happy as he was, and he's on a yellow now. Let's go ahead and make that last sub. It's Guino, though, the young man. Can he handle Nabar? Nabar has just crushed him. And does again, and gets another goal! Come on! Guino not even on the pitch yet. He hasn't been subbed on yet. That was Maidula again. Of course we want to make that change. And now we're going to go very attacking. Harridan also being punished, and he is just not as good. That's... Demand more. Come on, we went from total control to now it's been all them in the second half, and it's been Maidula who's getting his butt beat over and over again. Is this going to be the first loss of the season? It looks like it might. Final 30 seconds. And we've had no chances in the second half. From a totally dominant first half where we were unlucky, second half, they have gotten what they deserved, which is goals. And that's going to do it. First loss of the year. Down and out. Hands on hips. We're not going to throw the water bottle. It's their first loss. It's going to happen. It was bound to happen. We're not Arsenal playing the perfect season. 2 matches later, and now with 3 left to go in the first phase, we have secured qualification, and we've bounced back from a 1-point lead right back to where we were with a 4-point lead. Dua United also picking up their first loss of the season just 1 round later in the phase. Our second loss of the year in all competitions, though, came in the first leg. on the road at Persebaya. So 4th round, second leg. I'm not bothered playing with that because it's, it is what it is. So we'll see how we do in the second leg. We are at home. We're down 1 goal. We did get 1 road goal. So we'll see. It's already getting just in the 4th round, pretty late in that competition. This is, I believe, all the teams left. So 16 teams remain at this stage. 2 draws in the final 2 matches of the first phase wasn't enough to knock us out of the lead as Dewa United slipped themselves, picking up their second loss. It closed it down to 1, but we do retain actually the highest points total, the only team above a 2-point per match ratio. That's pretty solid. So we get through the first phase. That's done and dusted. Persis Solo, who ended up slipping to 4th in our first phase, is going to be in the same group as us. I believe we're joined by the Putra and Solit United for the second phase. Is that correct? Yes. So that is our group. So Dewa on the other end, who we drew twice against on the season. Persis Solo, who we beat once and tied once with, are the primary teams that got through. I like our chances of making it to the third phase based on the highest points total, but we're not exactly in the best of shape right now. However, our finances that have been a major issue for us just got a little bit better. Just in the last 2 days, we've offloaded players. We didn't get any money for it, but it was a huge improvement to our weekly finances or yearly finances, dropping nearly 100,000 off the books. 100,000 is only so much when you are that far in debt over the course of the season. So take it off 100,000 just for the next 2 months worth. That's 15,000 that we'll save. It's better than nothing. So the finances, second phase, it's going to depend more on elimination. You get 122K or 125K if you're among the 2 teams eliminated at the end of this phase. Otherwise, there's still no finances involved. But then getting into that semifinal, that's where we start pushing money from here on out. In terms of the loser gets 145K, winner gets 152, and from there, there's still finances involved for winning and losing, you see. So this is one where we really do want to get through to that third phase. Otherwise, financially, it's going to hurt. It's definitely going to hurt. But we've done well to get this far. I think even if we were to fail, the board's going to look at us in a fairly decent way, especially having taken first place under the first phase. Still only a 5% reputation, so we've got a long ways to go there. And in terms of development, we've made no progress here. We have made player knowledge, I think, is +1. That's the only change from 2 months ago. Last time we checked this, so +1 in all attributes. But maybe we'll get in a position that's good enough at the end of the season where we will be able to collect a little money, get the team in a little bit better financial state, get ourselves back to League One, possibly, and maybe then I can get them to get me an improved license, because again, we only have a National C. We've got a long ways to go. This is also a contract that expires at the end of this year, and they have not offered a new one because obviously we're broke. We got a ways to go yet. That is going to do it for this episode, though, and this phase. We're into second phase. We'll see how we do. This phase, group of 4, 2 matches against each, so 6 games to play through here. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.